Yeah. Chứ cứ để yên thôi.
Thông báo cho mấy vị xin bây giờ tới lớp thiền đó. Xong đại chúng giữ im lặng.
Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Kính bạch thầy, kính thưa toàn thể đại chúng. Đã sắp đến giờ buổi ngồi thiền, xin mời quý Phật tử phía sau xin giữ im lặng. Nếu cần nói thì xin xuống dưới lào ở trái đường. Trên chánh điện chuẩn bị lớp thiền, xin cần hỗ trợ im lặng trên chánh điện. Cảm ơn đại chúng. Dear respected Thai, dear noble community, welcome to our Friday meditation session. Tonight's schedule, we'll be practicing a guided sitting meditation for 30 minutes. After that, we'll be reciting the 5 mindfulness trainings. Afterwards, we'll have an opportunity to listen to a Dharma talk given by Thai tonight. And so to begin, we invite you to find yourself a comfortable posture. If you're sitting on a bench or on the chair, make sure your back is upright. You can place both your feet on the ground or on the cushion. Try not to lean back against the back of the wall or the back of the chair. If you're sitting on a cushion, make sure you establish your 3 points, and that is your 2 knees and your bottom. Try to sit at least 1/3 of the cushion or half the cushion. Don't try to sit on the whole cushion. Your hands can be placed on your lap or on your knees. Relax your shoulders. You may like to close your eyes. If you feel a bit sleepy, You can open your eyes halfway, looking at the tip of your nose or at the ground. Don't try to look what's around you. Keep your head upright, not looking far too up, nor looking far too down. You can keep a light smile on your face. Let go of any tension you may be holding in your body. And let that tension flow out into the floor. Once you establish your posture, bring all your attention to your breathing. Become aware of your in-breath as you breathe in, and become aware of your out-breath as you breathe out. In, out. There's no need to force or control your breathing. Breathe naturally. If you have difficulty following your breathing, you can place your hand on your abdomen to follow the rise and fall. Another technique is that you can count your breaths. Each time you breathe in and out, you count to yourself 1. In, out, 2. Continue to count all the way up to 10 and start over again. Another technique you can also apply in this guided meditation. I'll be reading a few phrases, and in those phrases there are some key words that you can use to apply to follow your breathing. As you breathe in, you focus on the word in. As you breathe out, you focus on the word out. Your breathing is your friend. It is your anchor that you can depend on to maintain your mindfulness, to maintain your concentration. Your breath is not your enemy, but your breath has been there since the day you were born. Focusing on your breathing helps you to connect both your body and your mind. And as you sit, you may happen to have some thoughts arise in your mind, or perhaps you may hear the sounds around you. We don't have to pretend or force them that they're not there, but simply acknowledge that sound, that thought that is there. Recognize it and let it go. Return back to your breathing. We don't have to think about the past, worry about the future, our stress, our work, our projects, where we're thinking that we have to go in to do next. Let go of that type of thinking. Return back to your breathing. Come back to yourself. If during the session you start to feel some pain in your legs, feel free to readjust your posture. Don't try to sit through the pain. We will begin the guided meditation with 3 sounds, the bell. Breathing in, I am aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I am aware that I'm breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, my in-breath grows deep. Breathing out, my out-breath goes slowly. Deep, slow. Breathing in, I become aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I relax my whole body. Aware of my body, relaxing my body. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Calm, ease. Dwelling in the present moment, I breathe in. Breathing out, I enjoy this wonderful moment. Present moment, wonderful moment. friends, please take some time to release and massage your legs. Dear respected Thai, dear noble community, our next activity will be reciting the 5 mindfulness trainings. So those who are sitting on a cushion, there'll be a sheet of paper you can pass along to your neighbor. And for those who are, if there's any extra copies, we can also pass it to our friends who are sitting on a bench. If you need more copies, there are some copies on the yellow table. One of our monastic brothers can pass around the extra copies. Rồi thầy vẫn thường có thể chia thêm giấy tờ 5 giới trên bàn của thầy. So dear friends, usually the first week of the month, we usually recite the 5 mindfulness trainings together. However, we know that in this, we started Friday meditation on the 2nd week of September. Therefore, we'll consider this week as the first week of our activities. For those who are not aware of these 5 mindfulness trainings, these mindfulness trainings are guidelines, trainings, for an individual to practice in their daily life. These trainings do not just make you as a Buddhist practitioner, but they are also these trainings for you to become a better individual, become a better father, a mother, a brother and sister. And as we listen and read these trainings together, we will see how that they are very related into our society. So let's listen to each mindfulness training, and as I read the trainings together. So we'll begin with 3 sounds of the bell. Introduction. Dear noble community, this is the moment when we enjoy reciting the 5 mindfulness trainings together. The 5 mindfulness trainings represent the Buddha's vision for a global spirituality and ethic. They are a concrete expression of the Buddha's teachings on the 4 noble truths in the Noble Eightfold Path, the path of right understanding and true love, leading to healing, transformation, and happiness for ourselves and for the world. To practice the 5 mindfulness trainings is to cultivate the insight of interbeing, or right view, which can remove all discrimination, intolerance, anger, fear, and despair. If we live according to the 5 mindfulness trainings, we are already on the path of a bodhisattva. Knowing we are on a path, we are not lost in confusion about our life in the present or in fears about the future. Please listen to each mindfulness training with a serene mind. Breathe mindfully and answer yes silently every time you see that you've made an effort to study, practice, and observe the mindfulness training read. The first mindfulness training, reverence for life. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I am committed to cultivating the insight of interbeing and compassion, and learning ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I am determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to support any act of killing in the world, in my thinking, or in my way of life. Seeing that harmful actions arise from anger, fear, greed, and intolerance, which in turn come from dualistic and discriminative thinking, I will cultivate openness, non-discrimination, and non-attachment to views in order to transform violence, fanaticism, and dogmatism in myself and in the world. This is the first of the 5 mindfulness trainings. Have you made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? The second mindfulness training, true happiness. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I am committed to practicing generosity in my thinking, speaking, and acting. I am determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others, and I will share my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. I will practice looking deeply to see that the happiness and suffering of others are not separate from my own happiness and suffering. That true happiness is not possible without understanding and compassion, and that running after wealth, fame, power, and sensual pleasures can bring much suffering and despair. I am aware that happiness depends on my mental attitude and not on external conditions, and that I can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that I already have more than enough conditions to be happy. I am committed to practicing right livelihood so that I can help reduce the suffering of living beings on earth and stop contributing to climate change. This is the second of the 5 mindfulness trainings. Have you made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? The third mindfulness training, true love. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I am committed to cultivating responsibility and learning ways to protect the safety and integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. Knowing that sexual desire is not love and that sexual activity motivated by craving always harms myself as well as others, I am determined not to engage in sexual relations without true love and a deep long-term commitment made known to my family and friends. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. Seeing that body and mind are one, I am committed to learning appropriate ways to take care of my sexual energy and cultivating loving kindness, compassion, joy, and inclusiveness, which are the 4 basic elements of true love, for my greater happiness and the greater happiness of others. Practicing true love, we know that we will continue beautifully into the future. This is the 3rd of the 5 mindfulness trainings. Have you made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? The 4th mindfulness training, loving speech and deep listening. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others, I am committed to cultivating loving speech and compassionate listening in order to relieve suffering and to promote reconciliation and peace in myself and among other people, ethnic and religious groups, and nations. Knowing that words can create happiness or suffering, I am committed to speaking truthfully, using words that inspire confidence, joy, and hope. When anger is manifesting in me, I am determined not to speak. I will practice mindful breathing and walking in order to recognize and to look deeply into my anger. I know that the roots of anger can be found in my wrong perceptions and lack of understanding of the suffering in myself and in the other person. I will speak and listen in a way that can help myself and the other person to transform suffering and see the way out of difficult situations. I am determined not to spread news that I do not know to be certain, and not to utter words that can cause division or discord. I will practice right diligence to nourish my capacity for understanding, love, joy, and inclusiveness, and gradually transform anger, violence, and fear that lie deep in my consciousness. This is the 4th of the 5 mindfulness trainings. Have you made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? The 5th mindfulness training, nourishment and healing. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I am committed to cultivating good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will practice looking deeply into how I consume the 4 kinds of nutriments, namely edible foods, sense impressions, volition, and consciousness. I am determined not to gamble or to use alcohol, drugs, or any other products which contain toxins, such as certain websites, electronic games, TV programs, films, magazines, books, and conversations. I will practice coming back to the present moment, to be in touch with the refreshing, healing, and nourishing elements in me and around me, not letting regrets and sorrow drag me back into the past, nor letting anxieties, fear, or craving pull me out of the present moment. I am determined not to try to cover up my loneliness, anxiety, or other suffering by losing myself in consumption. I will contemplate interbeing and consume in a way that preserves peace, joy, and well-being in my body and consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family, my society, and the earth. This is the 5th of the 5 mindfulness trainings. Have you made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? Brothers and sisters, we have recited the 5 mindfulness trainings, the foundation of happiness for the individual, the family, and society. We should recite them regularly so that our study and practice of the mindfulness trainings can deepen day by day. Dear friends, please take some time to release and massage your legs. So dear friends, we hear the sound of a small bell. We will stand up and to greet Thầy.
Dear friends, brothers and sisters, before we begin our session for the Dharma talk, I would like to invite everyone to stay calm and enjoy the three sounds of the bell. Good evening, brothers, sisters, and friends. Today is September the 8th, the year 2023. First of all, I would like to welcome back you all to the Friday meditation session after 2 months for the summer break. I hope that in the past 2 months you enjoy your summer holidays for yourself, for your family, and after at least we have a week or 2 weeks off from work and you travel somewhere with your family or you enjoy time with your family. During the summer break, the temple also have a lot of activities too. We have a lot of retreats going on, and also we have a lot of members near and far. They use this opportunity to fly over to visit our monastery and attend retreats. So we have a very busy summer. And for myself, I also not busy only with the retreats here, and also have a lot of retreats in North America. So I also very busy. I just got back here a few days ago after a week for retreat and public talks in North California. And tomorrow I will be in Saskatoon and Regina for the weekend. As you know, this summer we have a lot of wildfires around the world. And I have searched and I realized that in Asia also have fire, in Europe, in United States, and also in Canada. So this year we have quite of numbers of wildfires around. I call the hot disaster. There are different kind of disaster, but this is a very hot one. In the Buddha's teaching, the Buddha also used the fire to give some example. For example, the Buddha said that whenever we have the desire, which is not very healthy in us, and that can become a fire to burn. When you have in our daily life, we used to use the fire, the hot temper, for someone who have very easily angry. Anything that when you act in a very mean way, by the way you look, by the way you act, by the way you behave, and we also call temper. I have a hot temper. He has a hot temper. And when we say that hot temper, and we can realize how that person looked like. So the Buddha also used this as something to burn. So when we have a hot temper, we're unable to talk nice. We're unable to control or manage our temper. The way we behave, the way we look, the way we talk, everything look very, very mean and very negative. And that can burn a lot of communication. That can burn a lot of relationship that we have built in many years. When I conduct the wedding ceremony for a newly wedded couple, no matter they are young or old, I always ask them, do you love each other? And of course, the answer will be, yes, I do, without any thinking. But when I ask the second question, do you understand each other enough? And they a little bit stop, and then they just stare at me and they just smiling. And that means, they have to work a lot on the communication about understanding. So I remind them, when you want to construct anything, you not only need wood, you not only need a screw or nails or paint or drywall, you need many elements to help you to finish your construction, your building. So today you start your construction of happiness, of a couple. Love is only one part. And love will be the intent, the highest quality for the marriage, for the wedding, for the relationship. But what can keep your relationship last long? Understanding, harmony, loving speech, patience, and one of the important is about your temper. We all have a temper. But the practicing here is we realize I do have temper. And my temper is very fast. And some people, when they have a hot temper, they can control, they manage. They will step away in that area because they know that if they hang around there, they will burn everything. They will make everything collapse. So that means they will stay away. They go out to somewhere to wait until they come. So if we do not know how to manage our temper, then we are unable to finish our practice. So you come to the Buddha, we are not only looking for a holy person where we can worship, we pray, and we ask for help. But we come to the Buddha, we are looking for the instruction of life. And one of the instructions to help us to live nice and happy and longer is how to control or how to manage, how to cool down whenever you have a hot temper. You can see that a very small flame can burn the whole thing. If we see the flame and we did not shut it off right away, it can burn out everything. So we can imagine we live in this life in many years and we just continue to keep this fire within us. And we have no method, no way to cool this flame down. So the Buddha used the fire as the flames that can burn everything we have built. For example, we used to give an example that you go to the charity, maybe the temple, the church, or senior home to do volunteering. You spend a lot of time to work so hard. But if a minute you get upset, you're angry, you yell, and you burn all your merits since you began since morning up to the evening. There was a young girl who was physical abuse, only one, when she was young by her mother. Only one time that her mother is so angry, and she slapped on her face, she hold her hair very tight and make this young girl very hurt. So after they divorced, the young girl stayed with her father. And then the mother, she lived by herself. And one day she learned that she got cancer and she will be die soon. So on the last day that she find and contact her daughter who lived with the father, she begged her to come and visit her for the last time. She refused. She refused to come. And people will blame her. Why you do that? She's your mother, and even your parents divorced many years, and you live with your father, and now you grow, and you should come to see your mother once, the last time. She didn't share her story until the mother passed away. But when on the way she fly over to attend the funeral, she asked her auntie, is my mother will hold my hair again? Is my mother will slap me again? So that's the first time the mother have done that, and that stay very strongly, very unhealthy in the daughter's heart, in the daughter's mind. So this is a story for all of us to learn, especially with young friends, young kids. If we do something violence because we are out of control, and that cost the young fellow will be, that negative picture will stay in the heart, in the mind quite long. So that's why the Buddha always remind the fire of hate, the fire of lust, any kind of desire that is not healthy, they can become the fire to burn yourself, to burn your family and the society. So the whole world, everywhere, if we live without mindfulness, that can become the fireplace that can burn anything down. So that's why we need to be very careful. One of the practice that we can keep our relationship longer and more understandable is about your calmness. And that's why we need meditation. Because the more you meditate, the more you can calm you down. And the more you calm, you can save a lot of environments. You can save a lot of situations that you think, it's going to be collapse. And this is, if we want to save it, there's no other way. In the practice, the fire can burn. The fire can burn branches, leaves, trees, house, everything, right? We can see in Maui, in Hawaii, in Kelowna, they burn a lot of constructions. So only one small flame, and then they can burn a lot of lands and everything we have take many years to construct. It's very important. And this is something Vietnamese people use to give an example. If you are cooking something on the stove, and then when you see it's boiling, start to boiling, you can adjust your stove, can lower it down. And what happened to your pot? They will not overflow. They can slow down and they can slowly cook. And you will cook your dishes, your cooking. If you keep it burning in a very high flame, they will float over your stove and maybe they can burn everything you spend time to cook. As a couple, if one person in a hot temper, and we should be the one who calm, who will be cool down. So one of the ways is you tell your loved one, when we in the argument, we both very hot. So if I realize first, I will walk to my room. Don't follow me. Stay downstairs or in the basement. Let me alone in my room. Each of us will go to a different corner to wait until we both calm down and we will talk. So please remember, if I walk away from you when you're angry, that doesn't mean I disrespect you. That doesn't mean I don't want to talk with you. But I don't want to talk when I am in a hot temper. We will talk. Because our problems can be solved when we're able to sit down and talk. If we both sit down in the bad mood, we don't talk, we just yell. And when we yell, nobody listens. And one thing leads to another thing and nothing can be done. So if we can sit down and talk, and we both will listen. And once we listening deeply, we can understand both sides. And we can find a solution. Very simple and very easy. But if we both cannot talk, but we try, we're still pushing each other to sit down and talk. And this is the time that we don't talk. For sure, we don't talk. Even though we're forcing each other to sit down, we need to talk today. But I'm sure that couple will never talk. They just yell. They don't have enough capacity to listen deeply to each other. So the fourth mindfulness training we just heard. Listening deeply and using loving speech. Once we don't have the capacity to listening to anyone, then we will not understand anything. Once we cannot understand anything, then nothing can be done. Nothing can be solved. Nothing can be success. And what happened? Who will receive all the fruits, the results that create by both angry parents? The children. So the children will stay inside their room and they can hear all the yelling, the screaming, even swearing. And then one day, 1 week, 1 month, year and year, what do we nourish the kids? The loving environment is not much. Only the negative environment is important. So what is the word practice here? Practice here that we need to see the real situation. Maybe each of us, we have different situations, different environments. So we must reflect back and see, what can we do? Somebody in the house, maybe they don't argument about, money, we can argue different things. But once something is not justified us, then the anger can be easily start, and we cannot solve anything. So we can see that adjust your stove, everything will be cooked, and you have a clean kitchen. If we just let it it's boiling, it's overflowed and very messy kitchen. You take a lot of time to clean up, and then you lose some of your food in your stove, and sometimes they all burn. So we can see nothing we benefit from fire, when we have a hot temper. But in another way, the Buddha said that fire can burn everything. Can burn houses, branches, trees, leaves, everything. Then we should use the fire of wisdom to burn all the evil dispositions in all of us. So something, there's a fire of wisdom. This is the meaning of wisdom. And wisdom is understanding. If we have the fire of understanding appear, nothing cannot be solved. Everything can be solved. So as a practitioner, we should light up the fire of wisdom, of understanding, to see what can we do, what can we burn. So the fire have no discrimination. The fire of wisdom can burn all the negatives. In Vietnamese tradition, we have the kitchen god in our kitchen. Very simple, you have a fire, the incense burner. Before you are cooking, you will bow to that kitchen god. And then you light him an incense. And you report to him that I'm here to cook. That means you are inviting. There's a God who looks after your kitchen. And every day, if you see that there is cooking in that house at the dinner time, that means that is a cozy and happy family. Their family still come back home and come for dinner together. If you see that the kitchen is totally cold, nothing is cooking, what happened to that family? They take out. They go to the restaurant. They go to the fast food. Or they eat somewhere else. They don't come home and stay home and together to have dinner. That means their mother, their wife doesn't need to cook anything. So if any house there's no cooking in the dinner time, in the evening, that means that's a cold house. Nobody home. Nobody come home after school, after work, to have dinner together. So what is the beautiful time together? Dinner time. Because in the morning, we may not have breakfast together because we all have different time to work, to school. And then of course, we cannot have lunch together. So what is the good time that we meet each other in the whole family? Dinner time. But if the father, he go to somewhere else after work, even he finished working, but he did not want to come home on time, he have another affair. The mother also have another affair. So what happened to the children? They are free to choose their choice because their parents have all the direction. They have two directions. Then even we call the family But actually, nothing called a real cozy, warm family, because nobody wants to come back home for dinner. So if we want a cozy and a warm family, we should come home for dinner. And the mother will start her stove to cook. So if the stove still turn on in any family, any house, in the evening, and that is the signal of dinner of happiness. Dinner of the gathering. We can sit together. So the mother is cooking, the father is helping to clean up, the children will help to set up the table for dinner, and they can have dinner together. At that moment, no TV, no cell phone, no newspaper, nothing. Only face to face. The parents, that is the time that the parents can look and watch the children, how they eat, to enjoy their beautiful faces, the innocent faces when they enjoy their food. And sometimes if they have problem in school, you still can see by the way they eat, by the way they behave during the dinner time. So after maybe 15, 20 minutes of eating, or 10 minutes, we can start to talk. At first, we have about 10 minutes eating in silence to allow everyone in the family to enjoy the mother's cooking. When you talk, you cannot enjoy. When you quiet, you can enjoy the real taste that your mother spent time to cook. So silent eating is not boring. Some people think it is very boring when we eat but without talking. It's not boring. It is time for you to go back and realize all the taste that your mother spent time to cook. Your mother cooked by herself. She cooked. She put all her attention, her heart, her love in her cooking. Then what happened to the father and the children? You keep quiet and silently enjoy. She silently cooked because she wants to put all her attention to each of the dish. Then we should taste every single portion with our mindfulness. After 10 minutes, we can talk. That's still a fire, but the fire of cozy, the fire that keeps the family warm and happy. So in Vietnamese, we have a very beautiful word that I really like it. Trong ấm, ngoài êm. Inside, you feel so warm. Then of course, outside, everything will be calm. For example, if you were warm enough, you're never shaking. If you were warm enough, or if you feel you are not hungry, you never panic, you never behave unwell. So anything comfortable on your body, you never show you're uncomfortable. If your family is a comfortable family, you will feel you want to come home. Because when you stay home, you feel comfortable. So what makes you feel comfortable? Because you have a cozy family. Your family is not the market where we only yelling, and bargain. And we are family. So once inside is warm, outside everything will be fine, very calm. Outside means, gossiping, any other affair will never affect you. Because you have a happy family. You have a cozy family. And this is not only one person's job. It's the job of everyone, of every member in the house. So the mother can see her responsibility. She come home on time to cook because her job is cooking. The father also have the responsibility to go home on time to help his wife. And the children also need to go on time because they're unable to stay outside after school too long. They must go home so they cannot make their parents worry. So in our temple, it's the lunchtime. So no monks can refuse lunch. They have to come, because that is the time they meet together. As the monks, dinner is not the main meal. Lunch is the main meal. Because you want to go somewhere, you want to ask anything, you stand in front of the community and declare your request. And any announcement about the temple's activity or tomorrow or whatever will be made during the lunchtime. In here, most of our monks go to school. So when lunchtime here, not too many, we cannot have them all. So if I want to make any announcement, I will wait until all monks come together. Maybe lunch or dinner. So depends. But at least once a day, we can sit together. And sometimes when we are thinking of something that beautifully, and what you say, oh, I feel so warm. You feel so cozy, so touching. And that can be a fire too. So fire here in this time is not something bad. We can learn from fire. Another way, they can burn everything. Fire of lust, of hate, of anger can burn your relationship. But another way, fire keep you warm, because we cannot live without warmth. We cannot live without fire. So we keep that kind of warming in our daily activity. Sometimes looking at someone, they can feel, oh, you have a very warm looking. But sometimes we look at that person, they feel so cold and so scary, right? Sometimes you look at someone, but they feel touching. They feel that you understand them, you love them. So that's why when they portray the Buddha's picture or statue, the eye is also important. One of the beautiful way, the symbol of the Bodhisattva or the Buddha, their eyes. The eyes of loving kindness, the eyes of compassion, to look down. So if you have a warm heart, that will lead you to the warm looking. That also can bring you the very warm speech. The way you talk, people feel so touching and so warm. And your action, also people can feel that. The way you're welcoming people, they feel so warm, so welcome. So what is about Buddhism here? Not about how much prayer you do every day. Your merits, you can be gained easily based on how you live. So cultivating your mind. Once you have enough meditation, and that will keep your heart warm. And then you can flourish this warm heart by the way you look, by the way you act, by the way you treating people. We don't use them. We don't take advantage on anyone. We don't do anything for, in order to have the intent to bring benefits for ourselves. People can feel that. If you love a dog, your pet, dearly and real, they can realize it. If you hate your dog, you hate your pet, they still can realize it. Any day you go home with you're angry, your pet can realize. They will run away from you. Any day you go home with you're happy, you're joyful, your pet can feel it. They will hang around you. I don't know, have you ever experienced about this or not? But your pets also can realize it. Now we can go back and see, even animals, they still can feel when you are in a happy mood, a good mood, or a bad mood. Then what about human? Of course, we can feel more than that. And that's why, what is the main practice here? Take good care about your feelings. So the Buddha taught us there are 5 things we can meditate on. Your body, your pure feeling, your mind, your environment. And because we are talking about a fire, and I want to share that, the fire can talk in many ways, in the positive, in the negative. So once you have enough meditation, I don't mean how much time you're sitting, but I mean that we have time to come back and reflect. Come back to see, what about me? How I am feeling? How did I take care for my feelings? Because do not make your negative feeling and affect everyone around. So we try to take good care for the feelings. So we make sure we comfort them. We are calming them when they are not in the good feeling. So when you're not in a good feeling doesn't mean things are wrong. Just because you don't take them as you want, that's it. So you try to squeeze in and try how to look things so you can adapt. Then you can take it easily and you can make things become better. Just like one day you have to join in a carpool. Maybe at the back seat only fit for 3, but now we need to sit 4. So what can we do? Each of us, we have to sacrifice a little bit. Move yourself and make yourself this uncomfortable, and then you make 4 comfortable. This only happens once a while, never happen every day. But don't turn this into some big deal and make things turn upside down. And this is about the skillful of life, the skillful of the practice. Remember, your uncomfortable only happen once a while. It's not happen every day. Then if you do not try to comfort yourself with these uncomfortable moments, you will be burned. You will be burned. You have 5 days comfortable, only 1 day left. You didn't take good care. Everything can be upside down. So that is why we call the practice. Practice means put your attention on something you want to do. Before you do, make sure you know how to do. For example, when you have an address of somebody, you want to go there. Don't just jump in your car and drive. What happened first? You need to see your direction, right? How far? And by the time you are going, is that a peak hour or not? So you can adjust your time. If that is a traffic time, you can go earlier. So to prepare the traffic jam. If the time you go is not a traffic jam, you can cut your time. So before you go somewhere, you must know your direction. When you open your new box of something you just bought from the store, you need to read all the instruction, and you find out all the equipments in there. Maybe they missed. If yes, they missed, you cannot make it. Don't just try to do something when you are not sure. The practicing here is the same. Reflecting on something before we talk, we share, before you upset, you just see it and you angry. After a few minutes you realize they are not what you think, and then you feel regret. You turn around and you say, oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's too late to apologize. Why don't we stop before we temper, so we can save more environment? We can save a lot of time to apologize. And if we do this for many times, people won't take it, because they say, oh, you didn't mean it. You just do it and then you are sorry, you apologize. We get used to this. We don't take anymore. So go back and look, reflect. So what do we learn from the Buddha? Reflecting. We need to reflect. But usually we reflect others more than ourselves. And that's why we don't know ourselves much, but we know a lot of people. It's not fair too. It's not worth. We need to see both. For example, you need to know how cold in order to bring enough your jacket. You know both sides. You know you have a lot of jacket, but before you bring how many jackets or what kind of jacket, how thick they are, when you know how cold. So you know the weather, then you know yourself. You know the road, then you know yourself what time you can go. Can you afford? Can you go or not? Can you do or not? So when we have enough calmness, everything can be possible. So I encourage. The Buddha said that there are 4 things we must be watch out and very careful. The small flame that can burn the whole forest. There's very young snake, they can kill you because of their poisons, if they are poison snake. A young prince, he was the prince, but he can be the king. So do not underestimate a young prince. He can be a good king. A young monk, he can be a preacher, a Dharma master. So the very tiny flame can burn everything. So that's why we used to say that one tree, when you cut down, you can make thousands of matches. But one match can burn the whole forest. Only one tree cut down, we can do thousands of matches. But only one match can burn the whole forest. I hope that today, when we talk about a fire, I share a few things that the Buddha taught us. Sometimes fire can burn. Sometimes we use the wisdom of fire, the fire of wisdom, to burn afflictions, to burn something not necessary within us. For example, you have the very intent You really want to go to casino. That makes you feel uncomfortable. You have a very hot fire. You want to go there. But now you use the fire of wisdom to reflect how much you already lose. And what happened to your family? And what happened to yourself now? You use the fire of wisdom to burn all your lust, your desire, your negative desire. Now the wisdom, the fire of wisdom can burn that. And you can stay home. You know that if I can get rid of my negative desire, I can save a lot. I save money, I save my family, I save everything. So when you drink, you have to use the fire of wisdom, not to drive. So there are fire of wisdom for us to burn something that we just want to do. We just want to make it. But the fire of wisdom can help you to burn that and make you more safety. Thank you for all your presence and welcome back to our session. I hope that you can make time to be with the community on Fridays with our monks, and we come back to the mindfulness day once a month. I believe that next Saturday, is that true? Yeah, next Saturday we will have a full day of practice from 9 in the morning until 4 p.m. So please arrange your time and come back to the temple, and we can spend a whole day of the practice. Sometimes we only come here once a week and we don't have enough time for all the session. So when you come to the whole day, we have time to learn and join the mindful lunch. We have time to learn and join the total relaxation. So that also can help you when you go home. You can help you to sleep easier at night if you had hard time to sleep. And how, after many years we live in the uncomfortable environment, very unhealthy environment. And we have brought a lot of unhealthy environments around for our loved one. It is time for us to come back and seeking for another better way. So when you have a different treatment, and you can get well and you can help your family. If you take the same medication for a while and they did not help you, you can change. You can take a different medication. You can change your prescription. So any way to help you improve your health, improve your environment of living. Not only physical health, but the mental health is also very important. Thank you for your listening. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Now, please enjoy the 3 sounds of the bell. You can follow your conscious breathing. Yeah, please massage your legs before we stand up.